What's good, y'all? All right, so real quick, let me shoot y'all these keys right here. Um, Simple ways to manifest what you want. I'm gonna try to make this as simple as possible. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Here I go again with Makar Chronicles. So real fast. How do you manifest what you want? Here's a simple way to look at it. When someone says, or you ever heard the term, you can have it as far as you can see it, that is very true, actually. I found that to be very true. I used to hear it in sermons, many years ago. When I was a churchgoer, I used to listen to T.D. Jakes a lot, and he had some sermons about that. And I used to be like, man, what is he talking about? Like, I'm trying, it's just not working. I get it now. I get it. So you really can't have it as far as you can see it. So how do you manifest what you want? It all starts up here in your mind. You have to change your thinking in order to create and draw the things to you that you want in your life. For example, as far as changing your thinking, I can give you a quick story. So some few years back, I moved from Ohio to Las Vegas, Nevada. So that was a very dramatic move, from one side of the map all the way to the other. It was just me, my 2 children, and my dog. So, and I had actually never visited Vegas before that. I had never been there, ever. So, at the time, I was doing health insurance. And so I, was working at the health department in the particular county that I was in at the time. And I was like, well, let me see what states pay the most. What are the highest paying states or cities for what I do? Because I think it's time for me to move. Okay. And one of the reasons why I did move is because I was actually living in public housing at the time. And, for the sake of my children, I didn't want to continue that. I had been there for 7 years, and I was like, all right, it's time to move. And part of that was, I was probably one of the only people on my street that worked. And I would come home from work. And as soon as I pull up, everybody's knocking on my door. Can I get some peanut butter? Can I get some popcorn? You got a dime? You got a quarter? All that. And I'm just like, bruh, so y'all just sit up, y'all wait for me to get home and start knocking on my door for stuff? No, I gotta move. I gotta get around more people that work, because this is annoying. It's ridiculous. So I did a little research, like who pays good for what I do. And out of the 5 cities that came up, I wouldn't want to live in none of them, but Vegas caught my attention. I was like, that would be kind of interesting. But I've never visited Vegas, and this is all the way on the West Coast. I'm in the Midwest. Like, how is this gonna work? Like, how are you gonna do this? So, other than putting in the work of researching jobs, I would call different places in Las Vegas, Google some jobs to see who all was hiring, got on Indeed. I started changing my resume, and of course, I didn't have a place to stay, so I started calling like hotels or different living arrangement spots. Because of course I didn't want to get into any rental agreements, and I don't have a stable income yet. So I found these apartments called Seagull Suites in Las Vegas. And what it is these are apartments, they're transition apartments for people that are moving from other places. So you just pay every week, basically. So I called that place to see what their availability was like, and did that whole 1-2. Then I started saving money. I stopped shopping extra. If it wasn't my utilities or my bills, or groceries, I didn't spend any money. I was just stacking what I could. So when I got to a certain amount where I felt like, okay, me and my kids could live off this for a little while, then I was like, okay, it's time to go now. So I got the money that I needed. It took about 7 months for me to save up that money, and make my move, But part of that, other than the regular everyday legwork you have to put in to, relocate, especially to a place you've never even seen before, all of that starts in your mind. Okay, so once I have the other everyday groundwork together, like money saved up, some sort of idea where we're going to go. And that money that I saved up gave me a time frame too. So, you know, you got to find a job. You got to get this going before this money run out, or you're going to be ass out, right? And I know I'm not going to, but I know me, I'm not going to let that happen for me and my kids. And I remembered some things that, you know, me and my children had been through, some other things that I had been through. You know, I've lived in a homeless shelter before, all kind of stuff. And I just was saying to myself, like, if you could come out of that, you can do anything. You'll be fine. You're going to make it happen. So I purposely put my own back against the wall. I got called for a job from United Healthcare, applied and got hired and stuff, but I couldn't get down there in time. So when I finally did leave, and I actually drove, I have a son who's autistic, so I can't put him on the airplane. Luckily, the universe sent a really good friend of mine. Shout out to Ramon, who lives in Arizona, who's from where I'm from, and he was already here, so he offered to, you know, help me drive, you know, because that's a long drive. It took actually 4 days to get there. So it was nice that the universe sent help for me to drive somewhere I had never been. But if I would had to do it by myself, I sure was gonna do it, you know. So a part of manifesting what you want, you definitely got to be fearless. You can't be scared to take risks and stuff, you know. You cannot be afraid to fail. You cannot give a fuck what people think about you, because I sure don't. People say things about me all the time. They don't even know I know, but I know what's being said, and I don't care, okay? Because that ain't got nothing to do with, you know, I'm gonna do me, period. So I made the move, and it actually worked out very, very well. Very, very well. It worked out just the way I planned it because of this. So what I also did was every night, I would get on YouTube and find videos of people that had moved to Vegas or relocated from there to Atlanta or from here to overseas, and just kind of listen to their conversation, like some of the things to look out for, blase skip. And then there was this one video of this man driving to Vegas. And I'm like, so he just filming himself driving to Vegas? Okay, that's weird, but okay. So I would watch his video. I would watch him drive. I would watch the road. I would watch everything on the side. And what I would do was put myself in that spot like I was the one driving. Okay, if that makes sense. I would go into my mind and watch this video and put myself like it's me doing the driving, okay? And I'll explain that in a second. I would pull up pictures of the place that I knew I was going to stay at until I got my own apartment. And I would look at the pictures very closely, okay? And I would go in my mind and just picture myself and my kids walking around this apartment. I would picture us sitting on the chairs, because this particular place in Vegas everything is furnished for you. You just have to bring like your pillows and blankets and stuff like that. So I would take a look at the pictures, the grounds around it, and I would close my eyes and picture myself walking around this particular complex, right? I would imagine like I knew how the ground felt under my feet. I would imagine myself like touching the palm trees. I would imagine myself shielding myself from the sun, because I know it's hot in Vegas, and it is, which I absolutely loved. Just different things. So that's how you manifest. You have to see it first. Well, if you can see it, you can have it. You have to put yourself in that spot. So, you know what I'm saying? You have to make yourself feel the emotion that you're going to feel when what you want actually happens. That is the biggest key to manifesting. It's not so much of writing. That's a part of it, but that's not the biggest part. Or just knowing what you want. You have to make yourself feel the emotion. Emotion is very powerful. You have to make yourself feel the emotion that goes with what you envision. Okay, emotion is energy in motion. So you can see it, but how do you put what you see into motion? You have to put the emotion into it, right? And do the work that aligns with what you want to do as well. You know, you can't just sit there and just visualize all day and then that's it. You still got to do the work that lines up with what you're seeing. So, And so the move to Vegas was smooth. It was good, and when I actually got there, I got a job at the Medicaid district area, in the office, doing very rewarding work. And I got that job in like 2 weeks of being there. Like, it was phenomenal. Everything worked out good. So, and like, for example, like when I went to purchase my first home, I purchased my first house about a year ago. And so when I went with the real estate lady to look at everything, I saw the house. And so what I did was, when I walked in, I made sure I would touch the doorknobs. The cabinets and stuff wasn't in the kitchen yet. I had to pick those out. But just little things I made sure I put my hands on and touched it. And then take note of how it felt in my hand. So when I went back home, I would lay down and just picture myself turning those doorknobs. I would picture myself putting my key in the door, turning it, and coming home. I would picture how the keys felt in my hand, all that. I would picture myself walking around the house, cooking, doing little things. I would picture my kids walking around the house doing little things. But what I also did was, when I would close my eyes, I would, other than just visualizing these things, I would make myself feel how I would feel when this actually happens. So it made it look like it was actually happening right then and there in the thought process, even though it hadn't happened yet. So, for example, I would visualize myself talking to the real estate lady, and that we've already closed, and she's handing me my keys. So I would visualize her handing me my keys, and I would make myself feel how the keys would feel in my hand when she gave them to me. And then I would make myself feel the emotion that I would feel knowing that this is actually happening. And so, like, sometimes you may find yourself smiling out of nowhere. You're going to make facial expressions because you're making it real in your mind, and like, you take it little by little. Don't go straight for the big picture. You don't want to visualize yourself just in the house. You got to visualize all the small steps along the way as well. So I would visualize me having conversations with my real estate agent. Her name was Alexa, fantastic lady. I would visualize me laying in my bed in that house, looking at the ceiling, feeling, wow, I did it. This is my house. This is my home. How's that going to feel? Instead of being in anxiety and worry and, oh my God, am I going to get this house? Am I going to close? Now, I had some of those feelings. I did. Because I learned a lot through that process. It was a process, to go through. It took almost 6-7 months for me to actually close. And so, but in the midst of the anxiety, I didn't let it overtake me. I just stayed focused on what I wanted. And I just know, like, if it's not this house, it's going to be another one, because I already feel myself in there. Like, I feel it. You got to make yourself feel it. That's the key. Another example, my last vehicle that I purchased, I don't know why, but I like Kias. I'm not a very fancy person. I like little things here and there, but not really fancy. I love Kia cars. Don't know why, I just do. So I was like, I want a Sorento. So, and two, staying in my lane as well. Like, you can visualize a BMW if you want to, but you got to be able to pay for that BMW too. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you got that? Or you want to, stay cool? You want to have to pay all your money to this car note just so you can say you got a BMW? Or do you want to be able to drive a decent car and still, have some bread to play with? Yeah, that's what I want. Give me two, the second one. So I would go on YouTube, find a Kia Sorento, and I would watch the videos. I would look at the inside of the car, look at the outside of the car, and I would visualize myself with my hands on the steering wheel. How's that steering wheel going to feel in my hands? I would make myself feel the emotion that I would feel being in my new car. And so when I went to the dealership, when I walked in, I told them exactly what I wanted. This is what I want. This is what I want. If you don't have it, then I don't want anything else. because I've been visualizing too much. I've already put myself in that seat. I've already felt myself strapping my seatbelt in. I've already felt myself turning my mirrors. So I know what I want. And it didn't even take long. Like, I walked out with exactly what I wanted. It was exactly what I visualized, exactly what I manifest. And when you start manifesting like that, it gets addictive. Like, you love it. You love the power. The power of the mind is so important. So I want you all to try that, okay? And this is definitely for them people that's just, they like to sit up and gang stalk all day, following other folks, paying attention to what other people doing, instead of being all up in other folks' business, pay attention to you and yourself. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all be so focused on what other people doing and what they got, and your shit is just falling apart because you're not paying attention. Take your eyes off other folks and put them on yourself and your creator, okay? Go into your creative space, your imaginative mind, and create the life you want. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to get mad at nobody else, because that ain't got nothing to do with you. Pay attention to you. You can have you can have whatever you want in this lifetime. You feel me? I'm telling you, whatever you want, you can have it. You just have to, again, mind your business, okay? Take your focus off other people and put them back on yourself and your environment. Pay attention to what you're producing. You know what I'm saying? What have you produced in this past year or two? If you can't look around and see too much of nothing, and if it's been the same thing and you just stagnant, there's a problem somewhere. Your focus is off. Your focus is off. Something is wrong, okay? So start small. Let's say, even like for jobs, if there's a job you want, do the same thing. Just understand, when you manifest it, you got to be able to maintain it. You got to be able to keep it too. Okay. Don't be trying to pull things to you, and then when you get it, you can't sustain it. You know what I'm saying? So if you want this certain car or this whatever, just understand you got to do the other stuff in the real life so you can sustain it and pay for it too. So be realistic as well. For jobs, there's a certain job you want, you apply for it. When you leave that interview, go home, close your eyes, picture yourself on that badge. Picture how you're going to feel when you take your picture for your badge. Picture how you're going to feel clipping your badge to your clothes. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that, or whatever. See yourself selling that car to somebody, but you got to make yourself also feel the emotion that you're going to feel when that happens. So, when they call you and say, hey, you got the job, your orientation starts here, there. How's that going to make you feel? It should make you feel good if something you really wanted, right? So make yourself feel it. Don't go home and be like, oh my God, I hope they call me. What if they don't? Oh my God, man, if they don't, I'm just going to do. No. Don't get into the negative thinking, okay? Take yourself higher and just go home and just picture that badge, how that's going to feel when you look at your badge. See your name on that badge with the company logo. How are you going to feel when like, man, I finally got this job? Like, whoo. Feel yourself exhaling. Like, practice it now, even though it hasn't happened. And I promise you it's going to happen. Now, if it doesn't, that means it wasn't for you. But something is coming because you've already set it in motion. You've already set it in motion. And just understand, like, you do get that job. Be ready to do the work. You got to put in the work to maintain your job too. You know what I'm saying? So start small. Let's say you want to go on a vacation somewhere. Where you want to go, even if it's a simple trip. I'm in Ohio, so let's say you just want to take a little quick trip to Detroit, but your money is funny. Okay, sit back, find some pictures of Detroit freeways, watch some videos, find some structures in Detroit, and just look at them. And then picture yourself actually going, actually driving. Feel the bumps under your car. Look at the signs on the freeway heading towards Michigan or whatever, and just keep doing it. Try to do it once a day. Try to visualize and feel it once a day. I promise you it's going to happen. Now, for those of you that it may not happen for, you probably have subconscious blockages. What do I mean by that? a lot of our decision making and manifestation and creativity can come out of our subconscious. And your subconscious mind is typically set by the age of 5. Okay. So whatever your experience was in life from birth to age 5, this is what programs your subconscious mind. And you ever do something like, damn, why did I do that? Why would I do something like that? Because the decision was made out of your subconscious mind back here and not out of your conscious mind up here. And we typically cannot contact what's in our subconscious mind unless we're in our dream state. Okay, unless we're in full REM sleep and we're dreaming. A lot of our dreams show us what's in our subconscious thoughts. But other than that, it's kind of hard to really get a handle on what's there. You don't know unless you're going to see, when you start paying attention to your behavior, your own behavior, pay attention to certain patterns in your behavior. That will kind of give you a handle too on what's in your subconscious mind. Is there a common theme in your life that keeps happening over and over and over? You keep attracting the same type of people over and over and over. It's something in your subconscious mind that's doing that. And you have to figure out where that comes from. Now, how do you change that? I can only share how I did it. I did mine through meditation and YouTube by Neural Beats. So I would find meditations about abundance, meditations about success, parenting, things like that, and I would just fall asleep to it. Because even when you're asleep, your mind is still soaking the information in. And I just noticed that as time went on, my thoughts began to line up a little bit more with what I wanted. My decision making lined up a little bit more with what I wanted. And I could tell that my subconscious mind was being reprogrammed. Okay. So try that. Something small. When it comes to love and relationships, you can do that as well. And there's somebody you want, picture yourself with them. How are you going to feel when that person kisses you for the first time? Imagine that kiss. Imagine that hug. But if this person comes to you and you draw this person to you, you still cannot go against that person's will. Now, if it doesn't continue like you want it, you got to be okay and be willing to let go. You know what I'm saying? You saw that you can attract somebody to you that you want. But if that person's will is not lined up with yours, that's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? Manifest. You can't make nobody else do nothing that they don't want to do, or love you, or change for you. Can't make nobody do that. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to manifesting people, you have to be cognizant of that person's will, and you have to honor and respect their will as well, and be ready to let go, manifest something else or somebody else. Okay? If you don't know what the person look like or who they are, then just picture the facial structure, the body type you want, and just keep visualizing. But you gotta, again, make yourself feel that emotion that you want to feel when that person comes along. Like imagine yourself talking on the phone with that person, going on dates, or what have you. It'll happen. But just understand too, let's say the person's will is somewhat lined up with yours and they want to continue to see you. Now is when the reality kicks in, and you still got to work at it. We're still dealing with imperfect people. You still got to work at it. So just understand, when you do manifest, be ready to put the work in to be able to sustain whatever it is that you brought to you. Okay. So I hope that helps somebody. Give it a shot, give it a try, see how you can bring something to you. And this is basically a simple example of the law of attraction. That's it. That's all it is. The law of attraction actually does work. All them times I'm sitting around praying and doing nothing was happening, because that's not it. I get it. That's not it. You can pray, say your prayers, but there's other things that you need to do. Okay. And a lot of it starts with your thinking. You have to change your thinking. You can't be you can't be impoverished in your subconscious mind, but it still expect abundance. Those two things don't add up. You got to be abundant up here in your thinking pattern first in order to draw that to you. You got to be loving first in order to draw love to you. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that helps somebody. Try it with something small, and you know, you can leave me positive feedback. The negative shit, y'all can keep that, you know. So these folks that sit around and ain't got nothing to do but watch everybody else all day and talk shit, how about you try that? How about you try that? Make your life better, and then maybe you won't be so miserable. Okay? Do you. Manifest the life you want. Create. Okay? Your creator gave you everything you need. Ain't no sense of praying for hours and fasting. No. The creator gave you everything you need to co-create with it. You are a co-creator with the creator. Use what's been given to you. A lot of times, if you up on social media all day, you know, gossiping all day, you doing it, you can't focus. You're distracted, okay? And when you become an attention whore, you take away your creative power, okay? Attention blocks creativity, and you got to be able to create up here first in order to manifest it in the third dimension right here. You got to pull it down out of the spirit realm and make it real for yourself. So there's plenty that you can do. Then to be, you know, there's no reason. If everybody could tap into their own power, there's no reason for you to hate on nobody. Nobody. And when you feel the power of being able to manifest for yourself and your family like that, you're going to get addicted to it, and you're going to be so focused on creating this life that you want. You ain't going to have time to pay attention to nothing else. Okay? So hopefully that'll help somebody. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'm out.